how are you guys doing? You know what? I'm just gonna jump into that right now, just because I haven't seen Luke and Lee in like the longest time. I'm all together. We haven't. Well, I'm talking Yoda. I got my
I'm
vaccination
talking.
today, so I'm gonna be so weird tonight. And my daughter is not sleeping, so we've been having fun with that. Um, yeah. So how are you guys doing?
Yeah, I've just been really busy with an event that we've got running. So I'm helping to basically run an event up at the King's Lodge where we're feeding children in families with who would normally get free school meals when schools are open. But because schools are closed, they're not getting those free meals. So we're basically feeding the families
Oh, right.
up at the lodge, but down at Saints in town, which is in partnership with the lodge. So it's like four days a week in two different locations. So 2 days at the lodge, 2 days down at Saints. So I'm
Now, I'm going to be a
helping
little
run
bit
both.
a businessman or a cheeky commercial person. You've mentioned two different companies right there, Saints and the King's Lodge. What are they, and can you give a quick spiel of them?
Sure. So the King's Lodge is a Youth for the Mission location, and I'm part of Youth for the Mission. So yeah, we basically help people. We help train missionaries. We give people a taste of short-term missions. At the moment, my role is basically helping families who are in low income. And Saints is this is the bit where I have pressure because I help with Saints, but I don't know necessarily the correct spiel.
What do
Uh,
you know? Like that's
so yeah,
what yeah.
but yeah, Saints is amazing. It's basically a charity that's run by Together for Change. So it's coming out of the Diocese of Coventry, but it's in partnership with, I think there's 15 local churches. So 15 local churches in Nuneaton that are all together helping with this. Plus Byron the King's Lodge is in that mix as well. So I get the joy of helping both. And Saints is basically a coffee shop in the town centre, but also provides space for small businesses to sell their produce. It's also got a learning center room type thing, which can be hired as a function room, but also is often used by people to help train new skills for people, stuff like that. So it might be like learning how to get a job, or it might be helping to improve GCSEs, like after school clubs, those kind of things. Again, really focusing on developing and helping to grow the community that we're living in. So yeah, so it's a lot of fun.
And these are located in Nuneaton,
Yeah.
Warwickshire,
Yes, Nuneaton, Warwickshire in England.
and
So,
yeah.
yeah,
So just wanted
the
to
best country.
just wanted to get that clear and to make it clear that
Sure.
they're not paying for this. I just wanted to
Yeah.
get that information out since you've mentioned them.
Sure. Sure. So yeah, so
Go ahead.
I'm really, really tired because this event, like I'm at the King's Lodge, I'm helping to oversee the whole event, but down in Saints in town, I'm just helping out. But that means my hours have kind of gone from sabbatical where I was doing nothing to quite a lot in a week. So yeah.
That happens. Volunteer. You're doing really well, Sam. We appreciate it. I also work for the King's Lodge, so that's why I'm saying that. As well as, he's a good guy. We already had that spiel last time. Let's go to the next person.
I'm doing good, man. I'm living the dream. I am just taking like 2 months off from like working, like and just resting and chilling, catching up with family and friends. And now it's like, let's go look for employment. That's really fun. Not. I hate the process of looking for work. It's so annoying. But when you get it, it's kind of cool. But it's just kind of tedious. Other than that, I've been like kind of flat out busy with editing my own stuff. But also, we just released a set for our car, like a dead car game. There was a big game that I used to play, Transformers, a trading card game, which got cancelled due to COVID. Thank you, Wizards of the Coast. And basically, the whole community wanted to keep the game going. So I've been doing a podcast throughout the whole time that game was being played. And my co-host and me said, hey, why don't we just take a dab at making a set of cards? And there's groups, as we like to call them, factions in the community that make sets. And pretty much we said we want to do this, just fun, make it fun and theme and have a lot of fun and stuff like that. And it's been well received. Our set is literally being used in online tournaments. We've got
Whoa.
people who really want to be a part of our group and loads of other craziness. So yeah, it's kind of overwhelming and fun all rolled into one. And it's great because it's just pretty much us being nerds. It's great. That's been fun.
Yeah.
And yeah, other than that, just been chilling. You know, I've recovered from Loki because I went and saw Suicide Squad, which I highly recommend
Oh my
everyone to go
goodness, I
see.
saw it too. Don't recommend it.
Jesse doesn't recommend it, but I highly recommend it. It's incredible. It's
a very
exactly
good film, but
it's exactly what you sign up for. If you know anything about the Suicide Squad, it is exactly what you think it is. If you've read the comic book, you're in for a treat. And James Gunn's pretty much done the best thing of saying like no one's safe. Literally no one's safe without spoiling. Things happen where we played bingo when my friend D and my friend Rich went and saw it because we basically had it on our phones. All right, so who do you think's going to die and who do you think's going to live? And my mate D won because halfway through the movie he yelled bingo, and literally we're like, I can't believe you won. That's crazy. But no, that's
I have
great,
a question.
great film. Go for it.
I have a question. What didn't Suicide Squad already come out, or is this like?
So
part
this
two?
is the sequel / revamp of the Suicide Squad, basically.
Pretty much.
It happens after timeline wise,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like after the Harley Quinn movie, or
Yeah.
after the
Pretty much
Suicide Squad?
after. It doesn't mention it. No, it doesn't mention Birds
okay.
of Prey, but there's some things that are said in this movie where you're like, oh, and this ain't a spoiler because you'll probably miss it if you don't. There's a scene where she starts talking and she says, I'm really angry when people kill animals, like kill my dogs. And immediately that's a hint to obviously her hyenas that she has in Birds of Prey. So if you haven't seen that, it'll go over your head. But obviously us who've seen Birds of Prey, we're like, oh.
Which I'm in, by the way. I actually got to see Margot Robbie. I'm actually one of the fans at the roller derby.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
that's
sweet.
right.
Right
I
at the
remember you
beginning.
saying that. You showed us pictures.
Lush.
That's funny.
Yeah. So obviously Jess doesn't approve of
Not that I don't approve of it. I didn't expect it. I know. It's just because I was like, you know what? The first one wasn't too
the first
bad.
one was terrible. All
I
right.
thought it was okay. I just watched
Guys,
it.
I value all our friendships, but just be quiet when it comes to that. Like you take
No,
a
but
great
I
character.
meant
You take a few
Violet-wise.
great
It
characters.
wasn't great. It
was an
wasn't a great film.
abomination, Jess.
But it wasn't as like I think it just threw me off that much. So I was
Okay.
left with like, I don't know how I feel about this, so I can't recommend it.
Well, I recommend it because it's like everyone here is a villain. Like there's no one that's good.
Yeah,
like they have
basically.
good moments, but I think my favorite scene, which I won't spoil too much, but there's a scene you've seen the trailer between Idris Elba and his daughter. That is one of the most funniest scenes in a comic book movie you'll ever see.
It was
it's
great.
so
That was
good. Like
good.
we were making the whole audience laugh because we always interject with hilarious one-liners watching movies. So we're those guys that either people love or hate. And D was like, oh, that reminds me of my dad. And literally everyone was laughing in the whole cinema. And we were just like, yep, we've done a great job. We're doing good. But we went and saw it and there was only like 10 people. So, but I would recommend it.
My theater was packed.
Wow, you're a crazy person, Jess. I went and saw it on
I
Sunday
did not
early.
expect it. I was like, I'll go at this time. It shouldn't be. And then we get there and just every chair.
Yeah, so it's good. So yeah, I've been just editing and doing some side work while getting paid for editing, which has been quite nice. So that's been keeping me afloat, but I need to get a job, which is kind of annoying because I have to become an adult, which I've been told is what I have to become. So it's kind of annoying. So, but it's good though.
It's overrated.
It is overrated, Sam. I completely agree. Being an adult is overrated. You know, but yeah, no, I'm good. I'm really good. I'm excited for today's session and see where we go from here. It's gonna be fun.
Definitely. Yeah. Right now we're doing tea break, just to let you know.
That's really good to know.
We are going to do a session after this, everyone that you're listening to that is not lined up with this, but we're doing a tea break of the previous episode 9 that we released before what we released, which is Hermit Chronicles recently. Complicated, confusing. It just worked out to be like this. So yeah, we're gonna just talk not a huge amount, but a bit about episode 9 and probably 8. It'll probably mix and match. And I think that's why I wanted to do it like this, because I felt like we were talking about 9 when we wanted to talk about 8. And so, yeah.
They've all blurred together now. They're all,
Yeah.
for us, it's one fight. For you guys listening, it's all like several episodes. So it's
Yeah,
kind of fun for
yeah.
us. Like, what can we say without it being edited out? Or we can say, no, that happened in that episode. Oh, Jess, you're going to have to edit that. Yeah, no. So it all blurs
Yeah.
together.
But let's keep going.
This last week was really fun. I got to go to the San Diego Zoo and Knott's Berry Farm.
Both of them.
So my friend is having a birthday. Her birthday was on Wednesday, and so she went to the zoo with her and her boyfriend, and then also with Knott's with her nephew and nieces. So just hanging out with her and stuff. So I have a pass for Knott's, so I can go whenever. So that one was nice. But yeah, I drove the hour and a half, 2 hours basically down to San Diego to do the zoo, which was really fun. And I was posting pictures on our chat pages of all the animals that we represent in our D&D things. So, and I was like so bummed that the otter exhibit was gone. And because I don't know, they were renovating or something. So they didn't have any otters, but or mooses, but there was a reindeer. And I was like, well, this is perfect for Luke. So for readers. So I found a reindeer, and then I got a picture of a serval for Leaf, small cat, and then for Goro is a giant Galapagos tortoise, which those things are crazy and huge. So I was like, this will be perfect. I had fun watching those guys for a while, and then I was like, okay, for Hava, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna there's not really wolves here, so I was like, I don't know if there's any other type of dog animals here. So I was like looking around, and then I saw a dog in one of the exhibits, and I was like, what? Like, how did they? It's just like a domestic dog. And I was like, why do they have a dog in the exhibit? Of course, I didn't see the cheetah in the same exhibit. And I just saw the dog first because this is bright white dog. And I was like, I'll take a picture of it for Hava. And then I saw the cheetah, and I was like, wait, what? But apparently the zoos put the dog in the exhibit with the cheetah to calm the cheetah down. And they're actually friends. It's like really interesting.
That's amazing.
And sometimes they walk the cheetah through the park with the dog as well. I was like, I wish I could have seen that, but so Hava and Leaf are gonna be good friends. At first I wasn't sure when we first started recording, because I was like, dogs and cats don't get along together, but cheetahs and dogs do. So it's
There you go.
and I feel like when we talk about the episode a little bit more, I feel like Hava and Leaf did have their moment together in this episode where they were kind of
Definitely
working together and kind of bonding a little bit in this episode. But so that was kind of fun, and so fun week doing stuff like that. So yeah,
very cool. Great, thanks for sharing that.
yeah.
I've been good. Hello, by the way. I don't think I've spoken yet. Hello, everyone. Love you all.
That's true. He doesn't speak very much, except I'm going to throw him right under the bus right now. That he thinks he's the favorite of all of you.
Because it's true.
whatever
He says the least of it.
whatever it takes for your self-validation.
Yeah, you keep thinking that.
I was going to jokingly start by saying, introducing myself as the Tom Holland of the group. Just the youngest, usual fan favorite, against instant kill, and kept spoiling things. So please forgive me, because I feel like I'm going to do that.
It is so. You were
Tom Holland.
You're either the Tom Holland or the Mark Ruffalo, which are both probably crowd favorites. So,
But you guys still got Chris Evans in them, so divvy as you wish. I'm good. Yeah,
fair enough.
being the youngest of the group, the Tom Holland of the group, I had homework. I got homework done, and that's pretty much my whole life that's happened this week.
For all of you listening out there, Luke is actually a how old is Tom? Not Tom. Peter Parker. He's
I think
what,
he's 14.
15, 14 in So Luke is actually a 14-year-old that we forwarded to do this podcast with us.
Yeah, and that's why he doesn't like the violence.
No, Luke is an adult, fully capable of making his own decisions, and I do not have any responsibility for him and his actions.
Getting a paternal sense eventually.
He signed a waiver. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
His parents.
Once
had
you
to
click
sign
yes,
it.
I want to continue this recording. That is your waiver. You have,
My parents signed it already, so
go on. I
No,
can
that's
interrupt
it.
you. Go on.
I haven't done anything. Homework.
What are you studying?
I'm studying
for?
medicine at the moment. I hadn't done that till I don't know if you want me to date it by saying or like stick it to this time by saying, oh, because I'm in quarantine or because of the virus.
We're in tea break.
Because
You
of
can
the
say whatever you
virus.
want.
I haven't done it before that point, but it was originally counseling. So yeah, I have expertise in insight and stuff for counseling and expertise and stuff in medicine now.
Cool. Great. Don't call him if you're having a heart attack though. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
Not an
when I
actual
first
doctor.
started this school, I was very confused because it was online. It's online. So it's very hard to give CPR to people like halfway across the globe. But
Yeah.
I guess
Difficult.
possible.
You have to buy your own CPR dummy.
Do you
That's expensive.
I was like, would you practice with a pillow or?
I have blood pressure cuffs and stuff.
Well, Davida, okay, that's good save. Good save, Luke. Yeah, be literal. I was gonna say there's a lot of people who probably did practice with a pillow on this podcast, their first kissings, and
I was not even. Yep.
it's fine. This is what happens when you watch Suicide Squad. You just get your brain just turns into dirtiness.
It doesn't, ladies and gentlemen. Jess is lying. It's just.
I really hope that eventually they'll have to give that as like a side effect of the movies, like may give you a dirty mind after this.
Well, that's all it is, isn't it? There's loads of things. The one I forget what it was. What I was watching. What was it called? Okay, yes. So I highly recommend this, and this is the most insane thing I've seen since Tigerland or whatever that show was called. The
Tiger
crazy
King?
documentary. Tiger King. Yeah, this is more insane than Tiger King, and it's called The Cocaine Cowboys on Netflix.
I wanted to see that. Is it?
Yes, it's a Hollywood movie
Oh, I
in
didn't
the
expect that.
making. Oh, it isn't though. It's a
Oh,
real
oh.
documentary. These things happened in real life, and you listen to it and you're like, what the heck? And even the FBI throughout and the drugs agents and everything for it goes like, I don't know how this hasn't been made into a movie yet. This is insane. Like some of the things that happen in this, you're like, no, what? No, that can't. That's real. What?
Oh.
It's insane. It's really good.
Well,
I highly recommend it.
Isn't that like what's his name? Tom Cruise did a film not recently, but he did a
Yes, that was based off one of the characters
American-
in. Yeah, he was in Narcos as well, and he was basically a CIA fighter pilot that
yeah.
basically ended up flying drugs and guns for the CIA and loads of other craziness, which was all real and loads of craziness.
What is the name of the film?
I will look it up while you think about like life. I think I know what it is called, but I don't want to sound like a.
America.
Here we go. We're gonna find out now.
Okay, I'm gonna try and talk while thinking, but it's gonna be
You're gonna-
Googled, so I'm gonna stop. I'm just
It's gonna be simple.
like American Patriot, American Dream, American Flag.
American Assassin. Dun, dun.
Okay, would you like to know?
Closer.
You are correct with the American, but it's called American Made.
American Made. That's it. I knew
And
it
that
was
movie's
American
also
something.
insane. And that's also insane.
Yeah, it's a good
Like,
film.
Goodness gracious. But yeah, Cocaine Cowboys is hilarious. Like literally how one guy thought he got away and then he forgets that he has a really hilarious hobby. And then some guy in like New York was like, oh, I can't believe that guy got away. Then he turns on ESPN and he's being interviewed and he's like, wait a minute, what the heck? Like, man, it's insane. It is literally insane. I love it.
Nice. Cool.
I highly recommend it.
I will definitely look that up. Yeah,
Just
right.
don't do drugs, kids.
yeah,
Just remember.
don't. That's
Don't do drugs.
yeah, Luke. Don't do drugs.
Yeah, Luke. Yeah, Luke.
That's true. Yeah, I'm doing okay. Like I said, I had the vaccination, my second jab today. And I'm sleep deprived, but we had a bit of issues with our car, and that's been sorted, hopefully. Yeah, but other than that, just prepping and preparing. These past 2, maybe even 4 weeks, I've just been focusing on like this week and last week, and because with the episodes we recorded, I'm really excited about. But yeah, they took a lot of prep in order for us to even get close to where we were. So I hope you really enjoy what we're doing, and be excited for where these guys end up. But for now, we are doing a tea break. Of course, I'm your GM Jesse, and I'm with the crew: Lee, Sam, Davida, and Luke. And Luke's throwing up gang signs. We don't. Oh, now Lee's getting on it. No, now who thought Luke was going to be? Oh, now the Zoltan. Sam. Who knew Luke was going to be the trendsetter for gang signs? I'm just okay. Now we're just getting naughty things going on in the background. I'm at a loss of words. And you already probably heard us talk about ourselves, and I started now. That's just how today's gonna go. I'm a bit chilled out, but I'm also excited for this tea break because we get to explain everything that's happened these past 4 episodes of this arc ending time, and we could even give a projection of what's to come without giving too many spoilers, hopefully. But yeah, and just to drop this in, these tea breaks are for not just for us to ask questions for each other, and for me to ask questions to the cast, but it's for you guys to ask questions. So if you want to do that, please send us an email at rollingacrossthepond at gmail.com. And yeah, or send us a voice message, and you can find that through our website, rollingacrossthepond.com. And no, I'm not doing the spiel right now, Luke. I'm doing this for this questionnaire time. I'm not talking about fan art. We're not. Oh. That's later. That's Davita's thing. Later. I'm not stepping on Davita's toes. I'm doing this for this moment.
Can I ask that they email saying that I am the fan favorite? That everyone loves me the most.
I'll leave that in. And if you get 100 rejections, I won't tell you.
Wow.
Perfect. You just give me the one that's he's all right.
And if you get 1,000 rejections, well, you're cut.
Yeah, go back to your side projects.
The other thing, Luke, and I'm just bagging at you just because. I don't know, it's an easy target today. But the other thing Luke said is he's not my favorite, but he's the best one. He's the the A student for the podcast, because he's the one that doesn't argue with
the
me.
Teacher's pet. Yeah.
And I was like,
every single time I hear Lee talk about how Davita's questioning you, I always picture, if he's ever thinking about me, that it's the one to go.
Yeah, Lee.
Exactly. You're afraid because you've got 2 projects going on. He could easily write you out. We're only in one. Yeah. So if we're done, we're done. So we can stick around and be absolute little jerks to Jess.
But you're not in 2.
And he can't die in Hermit Chronicles either, because he's got to meet up with us later. So.
Well,
spoilers.
This is the question of the day: can Reader die? And the answer is 100%. Yeah, he can die in Hermit Chronicles. Will he? I highly doubt it, just because of the way they've been playing it. And I hope all of you listening and all you here, will realize it is not the same podcast. Just the next few episodes, you will see, I call it the clean side Rolling Across the Pond. Because I think out of 4 episodes, we've had 1 death, and it was by accident.
And yeah, I was talking about this with a friend of mine, where there's two podcasts. They were the Lion's Mane one, and this Hermit Chronicles, where one was built to kind of be mostly political, the three different kings that are kind of upset at each other, and then the other one was like, oh, license to kill, like they're spies. And for the spies one, we're very like PC and political. And for the main one, it's everyone's killing everyone. Like
that's true. But and actually, this will bring me to my first point for episode 10, and actually throughout the podcast is
You're talking about 9 or 10? Just curious.
I'm talking. So we're sorry, from 9 till 6, from 6 till 9.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
what-
I
that's
was
what I'm
making
talking
sure because if we want to talk about 10, we can. But I feel
No, we're not
like
talking about 10.
that tea break will be really spoiling
Yeah.
what before it's even come out.
Yeah, so we're talking from 6 to 9. Sorry, I jumped ahead in my head because we're. Anyways, so my first thing I want to bring up is the amount of times Lee has said, "Hey, don't worry. This is what this means," or this guy is sentient. He won't sleep. He won't eat. He will just hunt forever. Or the king is not the king. Like, don't you have to trust me at this? Like, the amount of assumptions Lee has done in this podcast is blown my mind. He has been right with a few of them. He is 100% wrong with the wind creature or being that was made. That I want to put this straight. That guy that Leaf was cloned from, so Wind, I'm just gonna call him Wind. Wind was a complete being. So they needed to eat, they needed to sleep, but no one asked me, no one rolled inside in it, and what I revealed to Davida was everything. So other than that, I never said that they were, and I never agreed to what Lee was saying. I just let you guys play it out as you wanted.
I never believed him, but I just wasn't. I was too nice to share that with Leaf because I knew it would break his heart if he like really like believed this as a, you know, fully sentient, fully like feeling duplicate of himself.
But I just like, he was trying to calm you guys down by saying it's sentient. It's not like living. And like, no, in my head, I'm
man.
like, it is another character. If you want
I honestly have thought that it was a magical being that had no thoughts, and it was like a Terminator, but it was a version of Leaf. So I was like, go and hunt that female handbag down, and we would not mind if you killed her because we wouldn't know.
it's true.
And then yeah, I kind of forgot like the whole like listening back on editing, going like, oh my god, I've just literally sent this person to die, and I sound like a douche, but I don't care because Goro assumes. Because, like, in the episode, Goro assumed that happened. And I assumed that Rita was the sheriff at one point. And just, like, Goro just keeps on assuming everything. And it seems to be the worst thing in the world right now. Like, he'll punch things, but don't let him make decisions. Because somehow he just seems to mess it up.
It was a great laugh while it was happening. Go ahead.
Yeah, that was one of the points I wanted to bring up is, did I say anything that hinted that I was the sheriff? Because I'm just like, yeah, I'm a traveling lumberjack. Like, you just.
I think
buy wood.
I think what also didn't help is when I was describing the two that were captive, I didn't say there was a sheriff badge on one of them. I did say there was a difference. One did have weaponry and stuff like that, but I didn't get really fully into there.
Yeah, I assumed you were some sort of like sheriff or law enforcement in the town, but obviously I was completely wrong. And Goro just is a little bit heartbroken, but also that's pretty funny for a side thing that he can't trust Rita because he like assumed that he was a thing. I think that's great storytelling of just like, I like this guy, but really deep down I don't because he's a liar. But really I'm just insecure about myself, but I will just project that he is a scumbag. It's great. It's great.
Oh, you deserve it.
I'm happy to be the escape moose if you need me to.
Escape moose.
What do I
Tried to
do?
kill Leaf.
Okay,
He did try to
fine.
kill Leaf at one point. I'm not gonna lie.
Okay, yeah, Sam is justified, but
I did like the banner because you're like, oh, it's an evil Leaf or normal Leaf. What? There's like evil things. Shall I kill it? And then all of us are like, whoa, like this is not good. This is the third episode you're on, and you want us to kill you, Luke. This is not a good idea. And I like how Jess kind of pushed us away.
I know I
did. Forced you into doing it. Like, do not do this. Do not do this, because it'd be hilarious.
I was like, how do I not railroad this? But railroad did not happen.
It was good. It was really good.
I was thinking that too, where like Reader's gonna hit Leaf or Wind, but I don't want it to happen. What reasoning could I give this? Like, oh yeah, I changed my mind.
And then like, yeah, it was that whole moment where you were like, so because he rolled that, does that mean I am against my own free will? And I was like, no, that's not what it meant. And I tried to justify it in some crazy way. So, and then I was just like, you know what? This just means you dropped the whole thing. None of it happened. And then,
Leaf will forever sleep with one eye open, like all the time.
Yeah. I don't know if I want randomness, but this question is for everybody. Like, when you know what, in the end as well, I ended up just naming the crocodile Handbag, so I don't even actually have a name for it, because because I have peek behind the screen, I have a OneNote program up with all my notes and everything while we play, and I have different section or subjects for each creature. And for her, it just said, I think it was like head, assassin, crocodile. And so I never put a name down. And I was going to think of probably the name on the day, on the spot. But you guys just kept calling her handbag or purse. And I was just like, man, I can't think of an actual name. So in the notes now, it's just handbag. So she is now handbag. When she turned invisible, and I know we're jumping straight to the end here, but we've already jumped. We'll probably jump it back and forth throughout this episode, and hopefully not leave anything out. But when she turned invisible, what went through? Like, was it like inevitable? Like, okay, she's gone. I don't need to worry about her. Or was it like, okay, she's invisible for this turn, and let's regroup and get her next time?
Good question. I think Leaf's main concern was, is she going to pop up somewhere else and try and take another pot shot? I mean, she's already taken a pot shot at me. So I'm like, well, I want to make sure that she's not an issue. But, you know, I think I was a bit disappointed she ran.
Yeah.
I wanted the handbag.
Yeah, that's fair. That's a fair point. I'm not going to elaborate on why she left, but it's a fair point.
Well, it's probably because she had all the answers and you didn't want to give us them. So
I railroad constantly, guys. I tell you, I make these guys do certain things, and we do a roll. We sit down and we have a around the table read about what's going to happen, and then we kind of act it out, just so you guys all know. So that's why that happened. No, I'm just kidding about all of that. It's at the moment thing, and I try not to railroad a lot, but I have to play to the character. And it's not that I didn't want to give you answers, it's just that none of you were persuasive or intimidating enough to get any.
I still think we should have chased after her, but Goro's excuse for why we shouldn't was pretty good. I mean, he was pretty injured.
Yeah,
but like,
so true.
Now that I'm looking back at it, we should have just chased after her. I mean, I feel like Reader has like a pretty fast pace. He probably could have caught up with her.
Actually, yeah.
if none of us else could. I think he's probably the fastest out of all of us, but or Goro, but yeah.
I am, and I don't know where it comes from. I could do like 90, like 100 feet per movement, and I don't know where it comes
because you're a fast moves.
Yeah, like I'm 40 foot walking. What the flump? What's that all about?
It's because you're large.
Yeah, that's probably why. No, I think I can hold my hands up and said I wanted to persuade all of you not to go after it, because being a GM, having someone that cool and annoying, you probably want them to stick around for a little bit longer. So, not saying that I had meetings with Jesse, which I didn't.
But we should have captured her.
Murdered it. Dude, you
Should
would
have
not
captured
have,
and
right.
interrogated.
I don't
Yeah,
care.
I
You would
agree
not-
with that. You would
you
not,
would not have
captured.
kept her alive. Like seriously, you
Yeah,
you
you're
killed a
right.
mouse by literally cutting off wrists and whatever. You'll probably just have fun like
That's
this, just
true.
like, oh, I'm gonna dissect her. This is gonna be great.
I'm sorry. I just wanted that bag. You know, I wanted to use the
Well,
skins.
to be honest, we decapitated that
kept her
bear.
alive.
We've got enough bear to
I
last us for
know.
3
You
years.
guys got
We-
loads of meat.
We would have definitely kept her alive as we skinned her.
I did not want to. I did not want to podcast that. I would not. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was funny because when she turned invisible every time, because it was just like, oh, I just wanted to keep quoting Predator and Arnold Schwarzenegger movies because I already kept calling her luggage and stuff like this. I just wanted it was like,
Yeah.
if it bleeds, we can
Oh yeah,
kill it.
luggage. Yeah.
You know, just no, you have to keep some villains around because otherwise, you know, it makes their redemption like kind of fun. Like if she shows up again, we know for a fact what she does, so we're gonna murder her first. Like everyone is just gonna murder her. Like, and I feel as well like this whole crew we took even though we took few punches and we were almost at death's door, we annihilated them quite quickly. Like straight
True.
up, we did pretty solid. Like solid murder,
You did really
or
well.
as we call them,
And I rolled
eliminations.
horribly.
Especially those
everything I
monkeys.
those monkeys. did
Okay, I have a question
not-
for you.
in either of
I
those
have a question.
situations.
Did
Or those
you
chimps.
decide on the spot that they were masochists because you were just rolling so badly, or was that like pre-written?
on the spot.
I thought that was pretty fun. I
I
like the
was
whole
just
masochist
like,
monkeys.
you know what? They're masochists. They just,
So my
they're not doing
question
well.
is now, because we always bring up lore, like pigs are psychiatrists, right, in this universe. Are monkeys now going to be all, you know?
No. So if okay,
If there's a
So I
group of
wanted to
4 of them,
actually-
there might be. Just saying, if they're
I
on their
wanted
own,
to
they don't know.
explain a bit. Kind of my not my understanding, but my pull from a lot of these things is this is not a well-oiled machine. These guys, like there was a bear owl that doesn't exist in D&D. Like that to me was like a hybrid, like, and like that's why I made it very specific that they had a bear and an owl parent, to where in Hermit Chronicles, you know that there's an owl bear, which is an actual race in
D&D.
in D&D.
Yeah.
And like how one of the bears could not speak. And so it's like these guys, they're not high-end criminals. They're not sophisticated. They were the run-of-the-mill, and I was just like, you know what? It makes sense that these chimps are masochists because, you know, they can't talk. They were signing. They were actually, you know, signing to each other. They couldn't actually even do thieves' cant. They were just, and so it was like there was those guys, and then there was the armored bear that was like, I'm a beast. I'll punch your face in, and then the crocodile, like that are running these guys, and you don't know why or how or what was the original agenda, but yeah, they just the dynamic of that. That's why these guys were so odd and a little bit out there, and so it's so they're not so not all chimps are masochists.
In my eyes, they should be, but we'll let the fans decide.
Also
love
thinking
it.
now they could have been monkeys.
Yeah, is it monkeys or chimps? We had a big argument.
They
didn't
could
we?
be monkeys
They-
though. They could be monkeys though, but they were just masochists.
Oh, and they cut their tails off.
They also have a bigger
the
build.
law
so
behind
they're
these idiots.
chimps.
I
Okay.
absolutely love it. The law
But if a
behind
monkey
it
cuts
grows.
its tail off, is it still a monkey?
Yes.
They practiced on themselves. They chopped their tails off. I love it. Love it. Love
Yeah,
it.
I don't know the pleasure or even the understanding of how masochists work. So do they do it specifically on each other? Like they're like, okay, we're gonna cut each other's hand off, and that's gonna bring pleasure to us, or is it like, I want to fight this. I want to go into battle and get stabbed and get scars. I'm genuinely asking you, Luke.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out how detailed I want to get into. From my understanding, it is somewhat similar to sex. Is that some people enjoy it
I figured that.
different ways.
Okay.
But a lot of the times it would be anything that could, I don't know. From my understanding, it depends on the masochist.
So, and I know we're going to a huge different territory here, but like when I was in high school, there was a lot of emos that cut like they would cut their wrist not too deep, but they would cut their wrist so they can have sensation. Is that masochism?
I think technically no, but
okay.
Like from the same, there's different versions of pain loving, like sadism and masochism.
Yeah, fair enough.
And please don't take any of this at face value. I'm only 14 years old. So I don't know what I'm talking about. But
yeah, of course. I'm not asking if
it is
14-year-old.
I think a lot of it is if they were sincere about it, and not just trying to be
sure. Yeah. Okay, cool. I'm just curious about that.
It is like it's rather they'd rather feel something rather than nothing. And just that adrenaline of like, oh, I felt something is the pleasure of it.
Interesting. Cool.
Just to jump in there, if you listening to this do ever feel like self-harm or anything, there's lots of help out there available. And I'm someone who's been through quite a lot of depression myself, and just want to encourage you that if you do go through things like that, do reach out to people. There's people out there who love you, who care for you, and you're a blessing to this earth, and we want you to stay in it. So
yeah. Great.
And also on a comedy value, please do not cut tails off monkeys. Like seriously, that's a crime. I think. Like I wouldn't.
They don't regrow like lizards.
Yeah, there's
no, they don't.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that happens in this whole campaign that I would advise not to do.
Yes,
just
100%.
If you don't like somebody, don't cut off their hand and.
Content warning, guys. We don't need to go in that deep.
Yeah.
I always put a content warning.
Definitely don't trust moose.
Moose.
You mean a deer? Isn't it just moose?
I just think moose is way more fun.
No, it's just moose.
It is just moose, but it's more fun to say meese. Like geese.
No,
goose. Goose, geese, moose, meese.
Anyways,
I'm Canadian. I know what I'm talking about.
I'm Canadian. I don't know what I'm doing.
He's a Canadian 14-year-old that we have coerced into doing this podcast.
100%.
That works with the Avengers.
Yeah.
Don't be saying.
Anyway,
Spider Moose.
I feel like it was quite funny. So going back to the episode Spider Moose, I feel like it's quite interesting because it's like how it escalated from like small skirmish to plan for big skirmish, big fight. Okay, it's dying down. Then the mayor was a douche, and we tried to start a fight again. Like it was just wherever we seem to go, we just want to start fights, which is great.
I did like that you punched the sheriff, or you tried to punch him twice. You punched him directly once, but you were just like, I don't want this to continue. I want to leave, but my character flaw.
Yep, my character flaw. But then the funniest thing was, I was like, I need to add sad music because it'd be really funny because it's like, there's dead children and people lying all on the ground, and all I want to do is punch things. This doesn't make sense. We should leave, but my character's an idiot.
It was very good.
So good.
Very good.
I'm really curious to like what happened to him when he went to Winterhold.
You haven't found him.
It reminded me that he went there though, and for future.
I do actually find it funny. Like, what is I punched the sheriff, and then while we're trying to figure out what to leave, he then wants to rebuild the town, which I thought was the funniest thing ever. And we were just like, yeah, screw you. You could go to the screaming capital city. Have fun there, you douchebag. Like, seriously, what's going to happen?
And then
we don't know.
What's it called? Then Davida or Hava's like, wait, no, don't go. And then I'm like, no, it's too far. It's too late.
I was like, shut up, Hava, let him die. Come on, he was a jerk.
I think it's funny though that we all like didn't realize that he was like, oh yeah, go to the dagger shop, and we totally forgot that there was a huge and then it was like not till afterwards that Hava was like, oh wait, there was a reason we left there in the first place.
I just love like the fact that town is no more, and probably the only place that's standing is daggers and coffee, because he was murdering everyone from what we could tell. Like he was literally murdering any mud monster that went in that shop. So if he's the only store there, I'm telling you, that's the funniest thing ever. Because if we meet him again, he'll be like, "Thanks, I'll go. That Daggers and Coffee was pretty good." And we'll be like, "Oh, you're that guy." No one's around. Kill him. He's not a nice guy. Oh,
Yeah.
it is so good. Like I feel.
What are you gonna
like,
say, Luke?
Yeah, go for it.
No, Leaf, you go. Or Lee, sorry.
I was just gonna say it's like really funny how like we're letting people live and we don't know if there's going to be any repercussions. Obviously, the let's be honest, the female crocodile is blatantly going to come back at some point, and she will die. Like I'm pretty positive all of us are on the same level of like we need to murder her because someone wants a handbag, someone wants armor. It'll be fun to have her as a canoe, just loads of fun, weird, dark things like that. But I think it's funny just having all these characters that we've interacted with is like, we're probably going to see them again in the not too distant future.
I did realize when you said that last time, I was like, so when you did have that confrontation with the king, you let him live. When you had the confrontation with most of the Carnies, you let them live. You had the confrontation with the not king crocodile lizard folk. You let him live, and so you keep letting at least one. It's like that's the one that gets away to share our story.
Yeah. We're a threat. Like they're gonna be like, there's this ragtag group of misfits murdering people, and I got away. And like we're gonna walk around at some point in this really dark and miserable place because we went to one city where hell opened up pretty much, and we went to another place which was just being like ransacked and people being murdered and whatever. And we've completely forgotten that we need to go back into the world where hell has broken loose. So it's like pretty mad. Like I would love it to be like Mad Max, where literally there's like a group of us just walking around and word of mouth travels. Like if you see a turtle, a dog, an otter, and this big moose guy, walk away because they murder everyone. Why? Because for no reason whatever, they'll act all friendly and then they'll snap. Like I'd love it. I'd just love it.
And the best part is they won't even see Leaf come.
Hey, they won't see Leaf
Yeah,
coming.
true.
Yeah, that's 100%.
Sure. What were you gonna say, Luke?
Yeah, back with Finn leaving. There was one place in my mind where he could have gotten resources, and I was wondering if you were thinking of it too.
Me?
Jesse.
Oh.
It depends. I definitely wasn't thinking like the Otter Village or anything like that. Like going up.
No, his wood supply.
Yeah, my wood supply.
I was like, do you know anywhere wood to buy? And we're all sitting on it and we're like, nope. This is his house. And then I realized
right,
it's just
he was-
wood. Yeah. It's
Yeah. And I was going to say something to him like that. It's my whole purpose for being here. I'm not the sheriff or anything. My whole
that did
thing
not
is
click in my brain.
being here to sell resources like that. But
I love it. Well, to be honest, he's probably seen some stuff now, Luke. He is scarred for life. He might need someone like you later on in life with therapy because he
Yeah,
saw
definitely.
like a moose and turtle and everything murder everyone in front of him.
Yeah.
I just wish
Yeah.
Barbara can be a romantic lead, though. That's all I
Yeah,
really want.
Barbara.
Like, Barbara and Rita have babies.
Maybe. Speaking of that, we're gonna rewind to the moment the episode starts, and that is the marble throw. And that is when I did tell you guys that it was another leaf. You can hear it in the episode. I think you, Davida or Hava, is like, oh, I'm not going to throw it at the sloth. I'll throw it at Leaf instead, because I was explaining what it was, and it was the mirror, and it duplicates, or it doesn't duplicate. It completely clones the being you throw it at and whatnot. Was wind really helpful? I don't know. In the end, I don't know. Maybe he increased
Yeah.
morale, but
no, he was
I don't
evil.
know.
He killed a monkey.
Oh, right. He did kill a monkey.
Or was it a
not that
chimp?
they
We
were.
can't tell. We can't tell.
Oh,
They're masochistic
chimp.
takes,
He
yeah.
killed a chimp, yes.
Chimp.
He killed a masochistic chimp.
Yep.
But, I mean, they weren't doing too much harm anyways.
No, they were literally the funniest NPCs we've come across, where they literally did jack, and we were just like, these guys are just being annoying. Like, there's no need. Like we could have just probably murdered everyone, just walked away, and they still probably would have done nothing, probably. So
Or it could have been like assistance. I was going to give a spoiler there, but I didn't. I saved it.
Well done.
I don't know. I feel like the marbles are awesome and they're scary at the same time because we keep on thinking. Well, I keep on thinking it's like materia from Final Fantasy. So at some point, we're gonna summon a demon that wants to like eat like grass and just destroy the whole world at some point. But he's our friend, so that's fine. But like we might open up a black hole, or we might drop a pyramid on someone. So everyone is different and hilarious. But if only we understand more about these, I guess we could ask Jess kindly and be like, well, I guess we could go talk to wizards and stuff about this. But obviously, if these are really powerful, they're probably going to try and kill us for them, or try and buy them off us. But we want to keep them because if they're that expensive, you know, they've probably got more worth to us to get out of a jam. Because I'm pretty positive every time we've used a marble, it's kind of saved our bacon at this point.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
King in a
Definitely
bubble.
changed the game up.
Sam got cloned, so we had another thing. So yeah, I think they saved our bacon.
So on that note, this question Jesse's probably not going to answer, but had Hava thrown the marble at the sloth, would that sloth have been on our side?
Ooh, actually, yeah, I never thought about that.
Well, there's a mirror image of him, right? It copies his.
Yeah,
whole being,
probably
so he
not.
would have been
It would go.
Oh, two teleporting monk like sloths.
Yeah, I think they would have kind of like you in the where you were like, well, Leaf is true neutral, and so Wind would. So yeah, of course you would see the logic in going after the crocodile, and so in that sense, it would probably be the same with the sloth. They would see okay, I'm a duplicate of this being. I need to be this being, and
So it's not a
so I don't
case
think they would
of
necessarily be on your side.
being loyal to their creator.
And if you just to drop here, if you watch if you listen to Hermit Chronicles that has recently come out right before this episode, you will see something else that pops up that is not on the side of animals.
There we go. Oh, you tease.
It literally had me going, what? When I was listening to it. I was like, those are mine.
I love it.
Yes. Oh man, there's so many things I could throw about Hermit Chronicles, but we'll do a tea break about that another day. Yeah. Luke and Isaac and I, and you know, thank you, Isaac, for joining the podcast. I'm so thankful, and I think you add such a weird chemistry with Reader. Your character Willie and Reader they just mesh really well, and so yeah, thank you for that. Just shout out for him.
I had a question about his name though. Is it spelled with an I at the end? Because it looks like an L.
Yeah, it's a capital I. So it
should be a lowercase I. Because
no,
otherwise
that's not in.
Looks like
that's not in. That's not what he did. That's not what he gave me. I'm doing what he
Isaac,
gave me.
it should be a lowercase.
I just feel like it's just gonna get lazy.
You spelled it wrong, Isaac.
Yeah, you spelled it wrong, and we're gonna have like a Z at the end and be cool like the kids these days, and loads of randomness. I love it. I'm excited. No, but I'm trying to think who had the biggest body count. Was it Hava again? Did Hava have the biggest body count?
I think it was Leaf this time.
Or was it Leaf?
Yeah, it was Leaf because he killed all those monkeys.
Yeah.
Oh, Leaf killed all the monkeys, and he killed No, he didn't kill the sloth. Or did he kill the sloth?
No, you. Oh, no, you did, Leaf. Yeah, you
I
killed
think
the
Leaf
sloth.
had the biggest body count this time. So, you know,
Yeah.
well done. Good job for joining us on our killing crusade, Sam. Good job.
So I get a cookie.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the dark side.
All right, fun times. I'm gonna go get my daughter. So she'll probably join the episode. So sorry, listeners out there, if you hear a baby crying or anything like that, and she will be crying because she cannot sleep. Yeah, deal with it.
Deal with it.
I'll be right back.
So this is the part where we start talking about the GM and, you know, while he's not in the room, and see
True.
how much of this gets cut for the actual tea break.
My thing is, Luke talks trash about him on these episodes, but he can't talk trash about him in an actual episode because actually, you know, his character might die. So
Yeah.
Jess has to jump on a plane to go and visit Luke and probably try and kill him. So that's expensive. You know,
Yeah,
still his
especially
fictional
with
character.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he'd have to kill me
Yeah,
personally.
exactly.
So good that there isn't any that is me personally.
No, I think it's kind of interesting because obviously, like for us, we know what's happening now because obviously we've recorded a few sessions on, but we've had long combats. Like it's been interesting to have like one drop episodes where we've been either traveling or doing stuff or talking as a group, and then we've had quite large confrontations, which has been pretty cool to do. So for you guys then, like without giving spoilers away, do you think we learned from this experience and all the stuff that has happened, like to where we're at currently in recording to like what we did in these episodes?
Yes.
Good job.
Yeah, I think so a little bit.
Yeah, good job. I just was like, yes. All right, that was a great question and just one word answers. I love it.
We said no spoilers, so
well, we don't have to spoil it, but I think like this one definitely opened our eyes to like what we can do in combat, what we're allowed to do and not allowed to do.
Oh.
I definitely think that's like a jumping on point for like previous later episodes that you guys are all gonna like listen to.
Thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Ooh.
This is me
Oh wait,
giving
guys,
spoiler.
we can't talk about the DM. He's back.
Here's back. I had a really good question.
You can talk about
Jess.
me all I
I had a
want.
really good question, which you should keep in, and it isn't a joke. It's actually a pretty good question, which we just answered in one word. It was great.
Okay, great. I will leave that in.
I can give you longer than one
Go for it,
word,
Luke.
but it is a minor spoiler.
Go for it.
I will say in the latest episode, I tried to use action surge.
Oh, okay.
So I still have yet to learn.
Sweet.
No, you don't learn it, Luke. It's a barbarian. You don't learn action surge.
No, I still have yet to learn how to use barbarian.
Oh, okay, that's fair. Yeah. Anyone else have any other thoughts? Are we all happy that the fight is over?
No, I was just saying.
No, I wanted to keep fighting.
I think when we get into a fight, we don't really want it to end because we all want to do
Sure.
something epic or have a cool moment, and then it's like
That's fair.
you just taste a little bit of craziness, and then you're like, oh, I want to do more. So it's just kind of like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Well,
That's fair.
I have a question, and that is, since this was technically my first combat, pretty much like full-on combat thing. I guess there was like a small skirmish before. Is this like common in D&D, like to have big combat, or is it like in general are most like combat battle things they're supposed to be shorter usually, or just
I think it depends. Oh, go ahead, Lee, if you want to
No,
answer.
I think it definitely depends. There's a great podcast out there called this is going to do my nut in. I just had it in my head. Acquisitions Incorporated. They do a really cool D&D podcast where basically they are all adventurers. Then they make their own like business where they hire people to then basically become like a big adventurers guild. But they have the main group, kind of like what we're doing. And they would have adventures that basically they do like maybe once or twice a year now. And they would do a small adventure, but the majority of it is a ginormous combat. Like one of their episodes is they went on an air balloon to go somewhere and they accidentally flew through dragons' nests and they ended up taking on dragons in a giant air balloon. And it was like this hilarious epicness. And like, then they got to a point and go, well, you'll have to tune in next time. And you have to come to this other convention to finish it off. And everyone's like, gosh darn it, and stuff like that. But I feel like D&D, it's like storytelling. You do what you want to do. Like, I think Jess has an idea for like where he wants to go. And I think sometimes it's hilarious where he's like, oh, this will be a small fight. And then it ends up being like, an epic fight.
Yeah.
But it's pretty much down to like the storyteller. And if we pee him off, he can just be like,
Yeah.
oh, they had 50 HP. Now they have 80 all of a sudden. Okay, that's great. Just change it on the side.
Yeah. And I think just from my perspective of like different podcasts and stuff like that, like Dimension 20, and I know I mentioned them a lot and other podcasts mention them a lot, but they do kind of like Critical Role where they have like the maps and stuff, but they also have like action figures, like they have like characters, and so they can do a mass fight and have like, but they all know, they can see the map, they can see the okay, how can I do this? And with wizards, mass damage is huge. Like just doing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I wanted to actually bring this up this episode actually, because it is a major fight. And I wanted to mention that the reason basically why I stop the episode before a fight is because for one thing, I didn't know it was going to happen, so I need to prepare for the fight and who's what, where are they, what's going on. But as well, I need to like create the monsters. I need to figure out, okay, where are the monsters? Why are they there? And so it is like if we did a straight up like just role play thing the entire time and have no combat, we'd have less breaks in between if there's no combat. But because there's combat, there's a lot more dynamic that you need to go through, and that's why I stop right before the fight, and then I like prepare everything for the fight, and then I like, okay, now we can get back to the story.
It varies from RPG and RPG as well, which is really cool. Like the one I'm currently reading, which I'm super excited to eventually do at some point, is the Alien RPG. Now, as soon as you say the word alien, everyone assumes, oh, you're going to have a gun and run around and shoot things. You're like, no. It's kind of like the first Alien movie where you are in a universe where they exist. You might not run across them because they're very rare, but it's all about building atmosphere and dread, and also not believing and trusting your crew. And kind of like what Jess is, you have maps of your ship. So you might have certain things going on in your ship where you might have to be on your own or leave it. And then there might be some things there that aren't supposed to be, or a crew member or someone that you've picked up on your mission is not exactly who he says he is. Loads of like, you're always pointing suspicion and suspense in that way, which is a really cool, unique thing about that, because you're supposed to have a crew member you like and a crew member you dislike. So the GM master, as aka Mother, as obviously the computer is from the
that's very fun.
From the whole spiel of things, basically points out things where you literally kind of dissect how we've been role playing in a way, but you have to be kind of really not precise, but like if you go into a room, are you closing doors? What are you doing? Are you doing this? And what is this? And stuff like that. Like you have to go into quite detail, because if something is lurking around the corner, you might not see it, but it might see you. And kind of like what the movie is, you are fragile as heck. And one of my favorite things was when one of the podcasts I listened to, they had one where a guy was being chased by one on this giant spaceship they went on, and he was just running for his dear life, and he got into an elevator, and he was like, sweet, I've avoided it. And instead of like saying close the doors and keep them shut, he closed the doors, but obviously because he didn't know we roll well for tech, he just shut the door, and then it says descending to planet, and he was like, what? And he was, because it's obviously based in real time and what people are doing, he spent 16 hours in a lift, because it was 8 hours down to the planet and 8 hours back to the ship. So he's down there for 8 hours. So all these guys are having fun, and he goes like, so the GM will cut to him and goes, how are you doing? He's like, well, I'm pretty hurt now, so I think I'm going to have a rest. Can I heal? Yes, fantastic. I'm just going to sleep then. And like it kind of was really cool to see that, and like how it plays out, and it really is story driven. So I'm kind of excited like where Jess is going with the whole rolling across the pond, because we already know, like, I forget what episode we're on now, but it's like, I think you guys are in for a treat, because there's a lot of like hair down episodes, but also a lot of like insane moments. Like I think episode 10 is a serious moment. There's one serious moment in there where everyone is probably going to be like, WTF, I can't believe that happened. And that's not spoiling it, but I'm pretty positive everyone knows that moment, because it literally did like split the group, and it was pretty interesting to talk about it, because like afterwards we were like, well, that escalated quickly. And it's pretty cool to see that.
But we'll leave that for episode 10.
Spoilers. We want you to listen to episode 10. It's great.
I was gonna mention something else. The funniest thing in Davida, 100% apologize. I went on holiday these past few months, and as you go, we went to a cottage, and in this cottage, vast majority of these doors were self-closing doors.
Yes. Do.
So I'd walk into a room and I turn around thinking the door's still open or whatever, and it just slam right in my face. So hands up, I was wrong. That does exist. Don't at me. I apologize, as I am an honorable and respectful man, and the woman is always right.
Thank you. I appreciate it because it's true. I mean, not every single door, but a lot of our doors did that.
True.
So,
True. Just I don't have heavy doors in my house, so they don't really slam or close on their own.
all right.
Right. As cookies are being eaten and things are kind of dying down, we're just kind of lowering our
Gang signs.
our mood, and we're doing gang signs again. We're gonna call it an end to this tea break. Hope you enjoyed it, and hope you can enjoy and get ready for episode 10.
It's a doozy.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Bye.